But that's what new construction does. The prices go up and you can't go back and be like, I want last month's pricing because I'm special. Hello everyone, it's Ashley Jamerson coming to you from Ashley Lambert Realty, and it has been so long since I've actually posted a video. So yes, I have made videos. I haven't edited them because I am completely slacking in that department, but I've made videos, and I promise this one I'm going to post because it has been way too long. So a lot has happened since April. Obviously my garden is popping. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that my garden is absolutely spectacular this year. I started using arches in my garden, so all of my squashes, my acorn squash, my rapicante zucchini, which grows like this long, is they're all looking good. I just don't have a tomato yet, like not one tomato. I do have green tomatoes, but they're the tiny cherry ones, so I don't even have the joy of a fried green tomato yet, and it's like almost the end of June. So let's rewind and talk about what has happened in my business and what's happened like personally and stuff like that. So first and foremost, April, I freaked out. Like pretty much the whole month of April, I freaked out. I freaked out to the point where my real estate coach basically said, like, do you plan on doing anything at all until this is rectified? And at the time I was like, heck no, I'm not doing nothing. I'm gonna sit at home and garden and quilt and crochet cardigans that I'm not gonna wear until the fall. Like, I freaked out. I mean, straight up freaked out. So May 1st, I literally got sick and tired of being at the house and being not really at the house, because I mean it was really cool having us all there, but I think I got sick and tired of like feeling bad for myself and not really doing what I love. And I love real estate. Like, this career choice of mine literally fulfills me. So May 1st I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna get like 3 homes under contract, and I'm gonna come back home and finish my crocheting and quilting and gardening. Like, that's what I'm gonna do. So I went out, and the first week I put 3 homes under contract, and my husband was like, well, you have your 3. That car is loud for no reason. My husband was like, well, you have your 3, what are you gonna do now? And I was like, well, I guess as long as I'm being safe, I'll go work some more. So needless to say, by the end of May, I put 11 homes under contract, which is my busiest month. And I had people like ask me, like, are homes selling? Are people buying? And the answer across the board is yes. And I am gonna make like a Q&A video probably later on today, but this is more like a work with me type of thing. Yeah, people are buying and selling. There's great deals out there. Now the inventory is still super duper low, so new construction is really popping right now because they actually have inventory. There are still sellers who are very weary of putting their homes on the market and allowing strangers to walk through. But so that was May, I put 11. So far this month I put 5 homes under contract, which leads me into the next thing. So if you've watched other videos, especially videos with my husband and I, then you know that my worst client is myself and my husband. But guess what, guys? We not only found a home, but we moved quickly on this home, and we actually got it under contract. So we're building a brand new construction home in a neighborhood that we have been tracking since 2016, and we're actually going to call that neighborhood home. So I'm super duper excited. I'm going to share that in another video. When we go to the design center this Friday, we'll like let you guys know what's going on. And I'll also have some tips and things that I'll discuss with him. Lord, if I get another crack in my windshield, I don't, it's like the mornings when I check on my houses, there's always like 18-wheelers and like construction trucks and stuff. And no matter how far away I am, they always have crap on the back of them. So my gosh. It's like I can either speed past them and get behind another truck or just go slow. I think I'm gonna just go slow. So frustrating. Anyway, so we are selling our house and buying a new one. And so of course I have to coordinate all of that to make sure we're not stuck with 2 mortgages, because that will not be fun at all. So that's like the biggest like personal thing out there, because I just didn't think that we were ever going to narrow down a neighborhood, a house, a floor plan, agree, have gardening space and all the other spaces. We did compromise on one thing, and we both feel okay with that compromise. Like, it's not a big deal because we literally got everything else that we want, and it's within our new budget. Because we will blow a budget, my husband and I. So right now I am on my way to check up on, I got 3 neighborhoods to check up on today. Monday I checked up on 2 or 3 neighborhoods. So I have one build going on in Stony Brook Station on their traditional home side. I have a Sutton Farms house. I have a Gibbons Crossing house. I have like a one-off builder. I don't know who this builder is, but I am like really keeping an eye on this particular home because I've never worked with them before. So I don't really know what to expect. I have had quite a few people reach out to me about building new construction, and they always like, they're curious, like, you know, what do you do for new construction? Why do you do it? Things like that. So every week I try to lay eyes on every one of my new construction homes. Right now I have 14 going, 15 if you count mine, but it's dirt, so nothing's there yet. I have 1 at dirt, 2 at, well, another one that's at dirt, 2 at slab, framing is starting. So what am I looking for, basically? What am I looking for? I'm looking for things that will, A, draw concern for my client. So if they call me and they say, hey Ashley, I went by the house, this is what I saw, is this bad, is this good, like what's the deal with it, right? So I like to know the problem before my client, and if it is a legit problem, I like to find a solution by already talking to the builder, superintendent, manager person, or letting the on-site manager know. Like, I like to have a solution to the problem. And a lot of times people who are building, I would say like most of my people who are building are first-time home buyers. So it's the first-time home buyer nerves plus building a home and the anxiety and the excitement of building a home and really not knowing if something is good or bad. So I like to absolutely be that person to check on it. And during this whole COVID thing, obviously video and Zoom, and last night I tried Google Meetup or something, I don't know, for the first time, but video has become so super duper important. And new construction is to the point where it's very linear, so only one vendor is allowed on site at a time. So I take my 360 camera and I take photos of them weekly so they can see what's going on, and I point out boo-boos and things like that. Boo-boos are like dings, broken windows, maybe divots in like the slab foundation, things like that, that I see as normal. But again, I need to make sure that I'm not missing something. So basically, for peace of mind for my clients, I do have one client building with True Homes, which I'm checking up on today. Well, that's dirt. I have a True Homes closing tomorrow, so I got those mixed up. They're moving here from Ohio, so I am their eyes and ears. They will basically come maybe at pre-drywall, but I'm their eyes and ears, and they get the pictures, or they will get pictures to know what's going on. The house I'm checking up on now, these clients are building in Bedford Farms with Niblock, and the last time I saw them was at the design center. They are moving down here and staying in temporary housing for a couple of months prior to closing, so they will also be checking in on their home. But until they get here, it's my project, and I'm their eyes and ears here on site. I know the wife's concerns. The husband is very, he definitely wants his wife to be happy. So definitely keeping all of her concerns in mind and trying to find solutions, keeping an eye on the garden space. Today I'll actually send the yard pictures to the person who built my garden beds and see what he can design for her so she can actually have a garden space. I mean, moving from up north, it's nice to have a garden space, so definitely make sure she'll have that. I have a client moving here from Indiana. That was my Google meetup yesterday, and he's building, or he's purchasing an existing property. So, but we still wanted to check on things like closet sizes, and because he's never seen this house, he's trusting me that my pictures and my videos and our walkthroughs on the phone will suffice. So even our home inspection will be on video on Thursday. So that's why I check up on the houses. You don't really get that if you go directly to the builder. That on-site person, they see the house so much, they don't know my client's concerns, and they work for the builder. So if you want somebody to represent you and like represent your best interests and so on and so forth, then you need an agent, point blank period. However, with all that said, all the things that I do for my clients to make sure that their build process is a delightful one, I do run into people that I can just not make happy. And for me to love my job or my career so much, that's the part that I cannot stand. I've negotiated some amazing deals this year to the point where I've surprised myself. And it's so crazy that the ones that I negotiated to the T are the ones that fell apart, or the clients who I just could not make happy. And it sort of chips away at your confidence, to be honest, because you're like, dang, like, did I explain that like the best way possible? What were they looking for? What did I miss? So like my buyer consults, my conversations with clients on the phone, I try to dig deeper than, hey, I need 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 2-car garage. I try to learn why, the structure of their family, where they work, the spaces that they use the most as a family, which is why my husband and I are my worst client, because we need so many separate spaces but still together. But that's another story. But I'm like, I question myself, and like I had a client back in February that came from out of state, and to this day I still think about that situation, because I'm like, what did I do wrong? But my husband was with me, and he told me, he was like, you completely clammed up, you were not yourself, you lacked confidence. And he's like, I've never seen you like that, like what happened? And my biggest mistake was that I spoke with the wife, and I understood, or I thought I understood the wife, but I had no idea what the husband wanted, and their ideas completely clashed. And what she told me was like the warm and fuzzies and not the nitty gritty of where she wanted to live and what she was looking for and why and things like that. And so the whole home tour situation that I had set up for 2 days, blocked on my calendar, just fell to the wayside. So yeah, it is what it is at this point. They probably relocated here. They may not have, because obviously COVID hit. I have no idea. But I tried. That was terrible. I completely clammed up, because if I feel that someone doesn't trust me, trust my opinion, you know, like it's a lot of trust to build a house when you're out of state. If I feel like I can't help you, I sort of like what am I here for? like, you're like, what am I here for? So I had that situation, but then I had a situation at Stony Brook State, 2 situations at Stony Brook Station. So right at the beginning of COVID, interest rates dipped. Like 3.5% was amazing. you know, last year, obviously, the beginning of this year, 3.5% was like, wow, that's so great. But we got to the point where 3.125, 2.875, it dipped for like, I would say 5 days. So it was a Thursday, Friday, nothing, obviously Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday going into Tuesday. So we negotiated the price down on the house, so that saved them money there. They got $10,000 in closing costs, and their closing cost was not even $10,000. So that extra $3,500 was used to buy down their rate even further. And they were really having like a mental block about something else, like their payment was like $20 too much or something like that. So I was getting more commission because it was just an incentive that the builder was running at the time. And I was like, give them a portion of it to help make the numbers work for them, because I'm the owner of the company. I have a little bit more flexibility, and it is what it is. I mean, hopefully they will appreciate that and they will refer me more business. So everything's signed, everything looks good. We're out there, it's cold, taking pictures at night, and then they go home and they want more. And I'm like, but you already got such a good deal. And I just can't physically, like, I can't fathom, like, what the heck is going on. So they backed out of the contract. And at the time I was like, oh Lord, like that's random, you know, to just back out. And then their reasonings were so like not even good reasons. And my husband, because he always speaks such life into me and always boosts my confidence and stuff, he was like, they just didn't want to buy. It was nothing you could have done. So I would say about a week and a half, 2 weeks after that, some people reached out to me again from YouTube, and we found them a house that they absolutely loved. When I say loved, they loved this house. So it was listed at $319, and I was able to negotiate the price down to like $305 or something like that. So that's, you know, obviously $14,000 off, plus $10,000 closing costs. Plus they were giving them a washer and dryer that was basically left over from the model. So they were getting like everything that they wanted. They said, no, we don't want to take this deal. We don't think it's a good deal. COVID, the market's going to crash. This is, you know, they need to give it to us for $290. And I'm like, but you're not the only buyer in the world. You know, like, I can't say it at the time, but you know, like when you're dating and you really like this guy or this girl, and then they get off the market, they get linked up with someone and they get married, and you just were hesitating on asking him or her out on a date because you thought you were special or like the only fish in the sea, and that somehow she would wait on you. That's sort of like how real estate is, I mean, to be honest. So this happened like a Thursday or Friday, maybe even a Saturday. They decided that it wasn't a good deal, like I should have negotiated better, I should have got it at $290 or whatever. But builders don't really like to negotiate off on the price, because if they sell you a house for less than a certain amount, then that sort of sets a ceiling for their next sale of that model. So if they give you a deal, that deal keeps on trickling down to everyone after you, and it also messes up the people before you. It messes up their equity. So they just don't like that, like, at all. It's just not good business for them. But needless to say, I was able to get them a heck of a deal and $10,000 in closing costs, which at the time they were the only builder doing that. But I believe another builder tried, but it failed, because you know, every builder is different. Got them all this stuff. They were like, it's not a good deal, and we're going to just keep looking. I was like, okay, fine. I showed them some other builders in the area. They really didn't hold weight against this other builder. So Monday, Tuesday, I was at the same neighborhood doing a final walkthrough with another client, and I get a text message from the girlfriend. And she was like, hey, can you see if that house is available? We want to take that deal. We want to get the house. And because I was already there, just looked at Jesse and I was like, Jesse, is that house that they wanted, is it still available? And so she said, no, it's not available. We sold it yesterday. And so I texted the client back and I was like, it sold yesterday. And the boyfriend was like, how much did it sell for? Like, there's no way they sold it, you know, at full asking price, or I told you, you could have gotten us a better deal type of thing. They sold it at full price, no washer and dryer, like all the things that I was able to get them. The builder ended up selling it at full price, and it closed at full price. It appraised, it was worth it. So I mean, I'm not, obviously they were probably frustrated and annoyed. No. So after that, after they, you know, were not able to get that house with those finishes, and those finishes were expired, like they no longer offer a lot of those finishes anymore, they said, okay, well, we'll just go ahead and we'll build. And so we looked at different lots. I took pictures of lots for them, and they were sent the pricing, and they were like, no, we don't want to pay this price. We want to pay that price from the house that we didn't move on. We want that deal. And the builder has already moved on. They've already did their price increases. There's no incentives attached to, am I in comfort? That deal is off the table. It's done, it's finito. And they just were so mad and so angry when they really should have just took the deal that I negotiated for them. I mean, that was a good deal. But they were so mad at me. And so needless to say, they found another realtor who would probably, you know, whatever. They might have purchased, they may not have purchased. But moral of the story, I have to live with myself and look at myself in the mirror, and I have to go out here every day and do good work and continue to attract good clients that I like to work with, who know, like, and trust me, who will refer me business. I cannot be out here in these streets doing bad business. So when I tell someone that it's a good deal, if I say, this is one of my favorite builders in this price range. When I tell people that my goal is to find you the best house in your price range, I am 100% serious. I'm out here looking. My camera just decided to die. But I'm I'm in Concord now, and I have to go in here, and framing should be done on this house. I know that the slab was poured. They were working on framing and the roof like a week ago. So I have to, so hopefully the roof is on and I can see some of the interior wall framing, because they made some alterations to the floor plan. So I just want to make sure it's framed right. And you're like, well, Ashley, you're not a general contractor. Like, what? How do you know if it's framed right or not? I had a client that was building with another builder, and they did not put the framing up right, and her bathroom didn't have a door to the bathroom from the hallway. You can only get to it, and she didn't get a Jack and Jill. So if you were there looking at it, you're like, oh, it's a Jack and Jill. But no, it was supposed to be a hallway bathroom. So the electrical was wrong, the door was in the wrong place, all that good stuff. I had another situation where a client looked at our house, and we were looking at the front elevation, and it was wrong. So they told the on-site builder guy rep was like, oh, okay, well, it's okay, right? And I was like, no, she paid for that elevation. That's the elevation, you know. Oh wow, they already got the exterior siding up. It's been some pretty days here lately. No, it's not okay. What do you want us to do? I was like, you can give her really good credit, or you can fix it. So they fixed it, and they were already at drywall, so they were not happy at all about that decision. I don't know what they're working on today, but it's looking good. Let me see if I can show. So this is their house. This is Bedford. I'm at Niblock. They are building it, and I actually have a video of that house and that house where I toured it for them, while they were still up out of town. But yeah, so let me go and set up my camera so I can take some 360 photos for them. They're going to be super excited to see all the progress. And then I have to send this 360 photo to, again, to my contractor so he can build or start planning to build those garden beds for her. But my clients really do enjoy these 360 photos. They like to see their house being built. But let me get to that and I'll be back shortly. I think they're actually going in there now to check on the framing. It's almost ready to be roughed in with like ductwork, electrical, and plumbing, but the framework looks really nice. And the backyard, there's actually quite a few options that they will have, so that's pretty cool. So let me send this to her and see if they have any questions. This is my client that is in Connecticut. So they still feel like they are a part of the, you know, the whole build process, even though they're not here, and they can still ask me questions. Beyonce is just trying to play today. Let's see here. So now I have to head to like the Harrisburg exit to do a final check, drop off closing gifts for my client who is closing tomorrow in Brentwood. And then I have to go check on my builds in Muirfield. And then I have to check on my builds in Larkhaven. And then I have to head down to Paul Creek Village before going to my attorneys to drop off another closing gift. So all that stuff is in my trunk. The cards are still in my purse. So yeah, now I keep to drive some. Hey guys, so quickly checking in on a house that is closing on tomorrow. This is in Brentwood. They built the Kipling model, and there were just a few things that we came in on Monday during the blue tape final walkthrough homeowners orientation. All the boo-boos have been fixed, but the house has not been cleaned yet. But yeah, so mainly everything has been repaired. Let me check upstairs. I just want it to be a smooth closing tomorrow. Would be really, really nice. Yeah, all the drywall issues. Have been fixed. Let me see if the paint on the floor. So the paint on the carpet has not been repaired yet. Just so it looks just like the paint drywall cabinet people came in, but not the cleaners, which will probably be today. So I just wanted to lay eyes on the house and make sure that things are looking good. So again, this is a Kipling plan. I have a Riley that was already built and closed in this neighborhood. How do I get out? And then I have a Riley going up sort of kind of across the street. But there's a lot of activity, rocking and rolling in this neighborhood right now. Like, it's super duper busy. Yeah. Okay, I'll check in with you guys at Muirfield. I think I have 4 over there. So lots to check in on.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. So I just left your house. They have made the drywall repairs, the painting repairs. The cabinet is fixed. It just has not been cleaned yet. So all the carpet, all the paint on the edges, and vacuumed and deep cleaned, because the door was open. So I know it hasn't been like carbonized yet.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully they'll get that knocked out today. I did get your email about the survey. So you will get a copy of the survey. This is a Decatur. It's 3 bedrooms with a loft. It is, I think it's one of the smaller homes here, but small and nice, really nice finishes in it. So I have a Decatur, I have an Ellison, a Garrison in this neighborhood. I think there's an Ellison. I know for sure a Garrison. A Carson. I have a Carson and a Decatur and a Garrison, and then a Decatur closing up there at the top. So one new construction tip when you, well, I have 2 tips. The first tip is when you are looking at the plat map, it's flat. It's like 0 dimensional. I know that's a real thing, but it's flat. So all lots look great. But when you're going through the lots, like in person, you'll notice that the house may sit differently than you expected, or there's a slope, or there's a hill, and that's what makes lots different from each other, unique, and that's where the lot premiums come into play. So when building new construction, things you have to consider is the base price, which consistently increases. There are some builders that increase the price every 3 or 4 contracts. There are some that increase monthly or quarterly. It definitely depends on the builder, but there's always a price increase. So my clients who closed during like the first phase on this street, they got a better deal on paper than say my client who's closing right here, okay? But they're getting a better price, a better base price than those houses over there. So it's base price plus the lot premium. If you want to back up to woods, if you want a very private lot, if you want a large lot, if you want a corner lot, those are things that would make a lot premium higher than say a headlight house or just a house on the street, like that's sandwiched between 2 other houses. And then you have your finishes. So some builders are semi-custom, where you go to a design center and you pick all of your fixins, all of your finishes. Other ones are inventory builders, where they basically select everything for you and they say, this is what we're doing, interior, exterior on this lot. Do you want it at this price? So that's what you need to know before you start looking at builders, is like what's negotiable, what's non-negotiable, what increases, what doesn't increase, and things like that. So what I like to do is I consistently communicate with many of these on-site people, because I want to know when homes fall out of contract. Because when a home falls out of contract, like up there at the top of this road, she gets the pricing from phase 1. So she gets a really good deal, and then she gets the equity as the neighborhood is getting completed, if that makes sense. But I always try to get my clients into a neighborhood as soon as possible, because the sooner they get in, the more equity they will have. And then I have buyers who are like, well, I was there a month ago and that same house was $254. Why are they selling it at $258? And I'm like, because the prices have increased. The value of the home is still there, it's still worth it. You're still going to get appraisal and stuff like that. But that's what new construction does. The prices go up, and you can't go back and be like, I want last month's pricing because I'm special. But let me get here and check on my client's house and check in with you guys shortly.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm trying to put some things back together before I hit the block tomorrow. What's going on?
So, lot 39, I just finished walking it.
Okay.
It doesn't have the pendant light pre-wires. Am I missing something?
39 or 32?
39. It's a Decatur. It's the one like right beside the mailboxes. Yours, yeah. Or is that's Mauricio's? Maybe I should call him. Yeah, I'll call. There's no pendant light pre-wires.
There should be in there. They probably
yeah.
system.
Yeah. So I just didn't want my clients to walk up in there and be like, "Hey."
Yeah, they definitely should be in there.
Okay.
Let me see. Do you know which super do you have? Do you have Chris or do you have Cliff? You know?
I have no idea which super. Can I just tell Mauricio and he take care of it? Because usually I just tell you. But should I tell the super?
I'll call and tell him. You should have. Yeah, don't worry about it.
I mean, like the dry, like I know that it was overlooked because like the drywall is already smoothed out and everything. Like it's all roughed in, all the electrical, you know.
Yeah, they're just gonna have to go back to the drywall and rewire it, but I'll let them know.
Okay, sweet. Thanks so much. So basically, I finished walking one of my new construction builds, and I have 2 more down this street. I have to find a place to safely park my car. I was walking and I noticed that the pre-wires for the pendant lights are not in there. And every now and then a vendor will skip something, but I know it's missing, and it's a standard with all of the Meritage products I'm currently building in. So it's standard with, there's a bug. It's standard with Stony Brook Station, Muirfield, and Lark Haven. So I'm glad I caught it because that could definitely hold up closing, you know, if it's called later on. Up the street I had one not have a backsplash, so we were literally at the new home orientation and I was there a lot and I was like, this house feels weird, and the backsplash wasn't there, so they had to get that in there. No delays in closing, but definitely getting that installed was like a rush job, getting that vendor there. But I have to check on 2 more houses here. My battery is going dead, and then I have 3 houses at Lark Haven and 1 at Sutton Farms. So if I don't charge up my battery and talk to you guys soon, just know that I'm out here and it's consistently getting hotter and hotter. Checking up on all of my builds, and I will check in with you guys soon.